And another thing like entertainment, okay, entertainment is a thing to keep your mind, to destroy your mind, to create a distraction from the better things. The better thing is to you to be connected with the God all the time. You can do whatever you want to do, but you need to do according to the Creator allow. You need to do the thing that if this thing we be happy with Him to do this thing. If not, you can't do. But entertainment can destroy this thing. You can do whatever you want to do and destroy your mind. Your mind will be busy with a lot of a lot of information, but that information is not nice for your salvation. You understand? But the knowledge for salvation, you won't think about that. Everything in His time.
In his book, Gabriel urges us all to remove all worldly media from our homes. These media allow the entry of spirits into their house. And that information is not new to those who've watched the Media on the Brain seminar.
But at this time, this moment that we are talking, because of the technology, now we have channel, we have a lot of channel that if your kid, you know that there is a subliminal message only for the kids, that the kid only to answer, to understand what thing that they're learning, like a cartoons, okay, animals, design, and Disney and other folks, other channels that for the kids. You will find that who wrote those programs was a Satanist. And there is the only message, according to that message, only psychology for the kids to understand. That message direct for the kids to communicate. Sometime in their house, if you are watching, if the kid is watching alone, you will see that he will start to repeat the thing that he's learning from. He's learning from that program, that cartoon that he's watching. And the angel can appear to him at home in that moment to ordain, to say, do that, the thing that you learned. And we start to do. Reason why a lot of people asking, they used to ask, why my kid changed their character, is doing this thing, because he's talking with the demon. He's talking with the evil in his house, from the program that he's watching from the TV or from the YouTube, or you Google.
There are actually 10 things he reveals about media in the book. Let's go through 9 more. Number 2, spirit possession in Hollywood. He explains that in Hollywood, before the scenes were filmed, the main actors are what they refer to as active agents, who officially have dedicated themselves to the spirits. And then in the acting, the spirits consciously use the actor as mediums. Quote, "Let the great religion of entertainment reach the homes of the less privileged, for it's in this social category that we find the greatest number of faithful to Him who lives to love. And we'll give them the gods of the new era for their children, their youth, and their women, so that they worship our stars, and each according to His model, and that they're taken out of the life of the real world and live in the unreal world, imaginary world, and consciously and unconsciously adore our gods and honor them, glorifying the spirits." You might remember Belt of Truth Ministries referring to the counterfeit reality that Satan wants to immerse us in. Number 3, false Christian worship. Quote, "We're going to remove them from the rational worship and take them to emotional worship. We'll make them feel the thrill of salvation through emotional ecstasy, mental and spiritual hypnotism, and through emotional rapture." This may sound familiar to those who've read Selected Messages, Book 2, pages 36 to 38, about this very thing. We cover that in Media on the Brain, session 4. Fourth insight about media is the inverting of morals. The media is how they admitted they were inverting the morals and spiritual values, and by men's science as well, and the education system as well. The teaching system or education system, they said, belongs to the spirits, and they dictate the rules. Quote, "They should never be taught to think and use logic, but rather to repeat and reproduce information." Fifth insight about media They seek to control the food, the air, the cities, the schools, and the news. Sixth insight, I also witnessed, he tells us, and accompanied the authors who wrote history books and scientific books of all kinds of knowledge, inspired and used as mediums by the Spirit. Number 7, sports are a religion, the biggest in the world. They unite worshipers in a single thought and unique feeling of reverence to the god of sports, Lucifer. The teams represent armies, the field is the sanctuary. The players are gods, and the ball is a phallic symbol. The lines of the net represent the opposite. The referees are the priests, the fans are the worshipers, and the spirits sow in the fans feelings of envy, egocentric jealousy, hatred, murderous thoughts, resentment, blasphemy, emotional ecstasy, enmity, pride, arrogance, greed, anger, impatience, lack of self-control, and excessive trust in their idol stars. Thus, they become slaves to the system. They start hating each other without even knowing the reason of their hatred in their hearts. The religion of sports has the most worshipers in the world, he tells us, because it breaks down barriers. The Satanists even consecrate the soccer fields to the spirits after they are built. Number 8, fictions or theatrics, movies, novels, are the means used to invert values and destroy the frontal lobe of every human being, to take them out of the real and true world again and lead them to the imaginary and the unreal. And they're used to portray Lucifer as the good guy, as the true Christ, and Jesus as the villain, a theme that Little Light Studios has developed in great detail. Number 9, music. As a child, Gabriel's job was to influence children, including through music. No other tool is as dangerous for influencing negatively as music. Music unifies minds and different beliefs. The music people listen to determines the image they have of their God. So changing the music also means changing people's perception of who God is to them. Music is a very powerful weapon that has the ability to quickly change thoughts and transform the feelings like no other thing. That sounds almost like a direct quote from Media on the Brain, Session 4. Number 10, on media, the digital revolution. The internet, with its social networks, video games, and so on, is considered the mental drug of the century, created to destroy the minds of children and young people, especially the children of faithful believers and Christians. When they're deeply engrossed in these vices, they'll never have time to study the Holy Bible, listening to God speaking to them, or pray, confess their weaknesses or struggles to God, and grow in grace. Their minds are poisoned, and they become worshipers of our gods, Gabriel was told, our influencers, our stars. So that's some of the leaks about media, but how about 15 more things on other topics that Gabriel learned behind enemy lines? Number 1, a Jesuit priest was also a leader of their satanic cult. 2, he met pastors from various Christian denominations who were making hidden pacts with the spirits to gain the powers that they desired. 3, I was taught that the best way to enslave human beings is to set them at war with each other through their religions, cultural, philosophical, economic, scientific, and technological convictions. 4, we sow feelings of racial inferiority and superiority so they hate each other. We create wars, he learned. 5, they want to decrease the world's population and implement a new world order. 6, they make genetic alterations in all living things in well-hidden laboratories where poisons, drugs, and diseases are created. 7, they have dominion over everything and all world leaders except Seventh-day Adventists, who they call a contagious and dangerous epidemic. They are our worst enemies, he was told. 8, in Africa, again, he was taught that the contaminated food is especially for those on the other side of the world, to reduce their mental and spiritual strength, to resist our purpose, the purpose of the satanic powers. We'll get more into diet and lifestyle in just a moment. Number 9, we will teach them that the human being has the right to live by your own law, to live the way you want, to keep the day you want, but our day, chosen by ourselves, referring to Sunday, will be the only one to be kept by everyone in the world. Number 10, killing Christians was a waste of time in the past. We've learned to kill them spiritually, destroy their faith through hunger, pain, suffering, and epidemics. Number 11, CFM is an acronym he learned from his masters, which stands for Convictions Founded on Myths. The most effective way to enslave the human mind, he was told, is through people's religious, cultural, philosophical, political, economic, scientific, and technological beliefs or convictions. 12. The system to deceive has been carefully preserved from generation to generation. He says it's hidden away in a very secretive place on earth in a city called the Divining Serpent, or the City of Seven Hills. The supreme throne of Lucifer is located in Europe, he was told. Number 13, the political leaders are chosen by the spirits, and when they govern, they must act according to the will of the spirits. Their objective is to incite civil and spiritual warfare in places where there was previously peace and harmony. Number 14, they frequently mentioned social revolutions to prepare the last generation for the coming of the great master. Sexual revolutions, legal and illegal drugs, inverting the absolute truth of the Holy Bible, and for Christians, introducing various doctrines based on relative truths, as well as, we mentioned earlier, taking worshipers from rational to emotional worship. And number 15, celebrities and politicians and scientists and religious leaders are the most unhappy people on the planet.